Okay, so this is where we left off on the last video. We got these two metal patches done and the latch repaired. And in this here video, we're going to go through and mix up a little bit of filler, and we're going to put over this first patch. Then we're going to put a little bit of filler over the other patch. And then we're going to begin the process of sanding down the whole face of the tailgate and prepping it for paint. So stick with us and we'll see how it goes here. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Alright. I'm gonna mix this up on top of this cardboard box over here. You'll probably be able to see that if you will. I've got an old credit card that I'm going to use to apply it. And we're just, the goal here isn't to fill these dents in on top or anything like that. The goal here is just to, the metal's real thin with this patch right here. And there's a couple little pinholes where I welded it because I'm not very good at doing metal work. And I'm not very good at doing what I'm about to do either. But, that being said, this will seal that just a little bit and have a little bit more of a presentable surface than we currently have. So, credit card, filler up, and I just got a small, this is like a $12 can of filler, it's not much. Get out what I need and immediately put the lid back on and seal it. This stuff's expensive, you don't want it to go to waste. Okay, so you just squirt a little bit of this hardener into that. And it doesn't take a whole lot, that's why they won't give you much. And then you're just going to mix and fold until it's one even color. But you don't want to agitate it too much. You'll get it to harden too quickly, and you don't want to put in too much hardener because it will harden too quickly. I am by no means an expert on how to do this. If you are here to learn how to do body work and not just watch a video about J10 tailgates because they're kind of rare, I suggest you go somewhere that knows how to do body work. I suggest D&D Speed Shop. That guy knows how to do body work. I do not. But that should be somewhere decent for us to start with sealing that metal work. And then we'll see how this comes out, but a man might fill a dent or two right in here. Maybe. I'm not too worried about the dents in the top of the tailgate. For me, and the purpose of this whole project, one, that other tailgate's rotten and it's 90% Bondo. I bought 3 cans and shoved in that bottom rail and sanded it off till it was half round. And when I sell that tailgate, if I put it up for sale, I'll be honest about it. Ain't no way to hide it with me doing paper body work. But we'll let that harden, and we'll try to get some speed through footage of sanding it down, but I'm going to do it by hand. The other thing, whenever I'm messing with this stuff, whatever you're using to apply it with, as soon as you're done with it, Get it as clean as you possibly can so the next time you go to apply, you still start with that fine, straight edge. That is one thing I have found out. But like I said, don't take no tips doing body work from here because, man, I'm telling you, I don't know what I'm doing. I got a hillbilly with a can of Bondo. That's all I am. I got it all over my fingers. I wonder if that'll mix in with the never seeds and actually come off. Okay. Okay, so we let this sit for about an hour. Hard real good. We're just gonna hand sand it. My DA sander broke, so I'm going to get a new DA sander before we can finish prepping the rest of the tailgate. I'm thinking where this is bent, a man might run a self-tapping screw in that portion of the frame. That'll be welded for that later. So I've got some 80 grit sandpaper here. It's going to take our time, work it down. There shouldn't be that much we need to work out of it. It'll be time lapsed. So let's get started in on it. And just a little sneak peek of how it'll be. I had to take this back apart to sand in there a little bit. This is going to get hit again with a finer sandpaper, obviously, before we finally shoot it. We got a lot more sanding to do. I just wanted to see if it was going to blend right and do what I had in mind. And actually, it's really not bad. It just needs a little bit more sanding right in that little area there. It's going to take me a couple days to work it, obviously. I'm going to try to bend this back out where somebody dropped something here with a C-clamp, maybe, if I can bend it back out. But it's what we're looking at, and there's the majority of the sanding done on the first patch of Bondo that we went with, or the first metal patch that we loaded in the last video, and where we kind of sealed it up there with some filler. So. Anyway, I gotta go down and get a new DA sander, like I was saying, and when I do that, we'll finish shooting this video. We got a corner down here where in the past they've put some filler, so we'll just kind of feather that back out and blend it, hit it there. We'll sand everything down real good. We're gonna go back with this primer reddish orange for now. And we will go ahead and for now paint this with some white equipment enamel. And the only reason I say for now is because I'm going to be getting this truck painted at some point in the future, and obviously then we'll go through the body with a much finer comb than I am capable of doing then. So I'm going to quit for the evening, and I'll get back in with it in probably tomorrow, do a little bit more work around the other patch. I was doing some looking, and if you noticed, that was kind of bowed out still with the 4 bolts in the corner. And considering I have another one of these that's in just as good a shape in the other tailgate, and I'm still up in the air if I'm going to sell the other tailgate or not, I'm thinking about right in here in the middle of this body, running a self-tapping screw through to to try to help with that bow, because that bow is what caused that to crack in the first place. So anyway, we'll be doing some more sanding, but that's where I'm gonna quit for the evening. Okay, so we stopped last night, got a sander on the way home from work. So we'll get out of here this morning and try to sand this thing down and shoot it with some paint. And get started and just let that camera run until it, well, wherever it runs out of storage will be where your time lapse ends. Alright, so here's where we're at after about 3 hours worth of sanding. It's definitely got a thick coat of black paint on it. Then under that it's a thin coat of primer. Then under that is a little bit of Bondo in two places, here and right there. Then underneath that there is a heavy coat of what I'm assuming is the factory blue color, and then a primer underneath it. Man, that blue is real hard to sand out of there. But you basically got to do an 8-inch square place with a 60 grit disc, get the black off, and then come back with another disc and get the blue down and the other primer off. So anyway, maybe in another hour and a half or two we'll be able to wipe this thing down with some acetone, and we'll take everything in the garage and or in the house because it's warmer around there. And since it's going to be so late in the day, we'll wipe everything down with some acetone in there and shoot it with that primer that I'm going to use for paint. And anyway, we still got to do a little bit of filler right here where I took some out with the grinder. And that's going to be it. So there's a little bit of an update what I've been doing there. Got you set up over there. I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick how I'm getting the final little bits of paint off around the edge of these letters. Of course, as soon as I start to talk, all the cars have to come by. So anyway, all I'm doing is taking a Dremel tool, a little rubber end with some of these slip over sanding wheels, and we're going around the edges and the insides of the letters. So I've already had a lot of time lapse in this video, so I went ahead and did the 2 E's and the P and half this J. And we'll go ahead and finish this J up for you so you can see it, and then we'll probably end this video here and then do the actual shooting of the paint in its own video. So here we go. But anyway, that's how I'm cleaning up around the letters. So we're going to call it good for this video. That's kind of where we've prepped it at to this point. And next video will be taking it inside, wiping it down with acetone, and actually laying the paint to it. Y'all have a good one.